It's funny to me that Riesling gets such a bad rap. I reckon it's one of the world's most versatile varieties, capable of producing dry wines, fully sweet wines, even fantastic sparkling wines. The problem seems to be the words sweet and fruity that prevent some wine drinkers taking it seriously. In this episode, we're going to take it seriously and we're going to look at Aussie Riesling, and what you'll find is that they are, for the most part, dry. Let's meet Louisa Rose at Pusey Vale Vineyard and take a walk on the dry side. Hey, how you doing?
Good, Mark. How are you?
Good, lovely to see you. So, famous Pusey Vale Riesling vineyard here in the Eden Valley. What makes it so good for Riesling? Why is Eden Valley so good, and why is this vineyard so special?
Well, it is a very special vineyard. The first thing you've got to look at, of course, is the soil.
Right.
And this is what makes Eden Valley. It's that very low fertility soil. There's, you know, some soil there, but there's a lot of pebbles, a lot of gravel within it. Mm-hmm. So the low fertility means that the vines aren't going to be the most vigorous vines that you're going to see in Australia.
How does that relate, that low vigour, how does that relate to the bottle, which I see you've got a couple of bottles here for us to try later, but how does that relate to the flavours in the bottle?
Well, it's all about the balance of the vine.
Okay.
So you can see these vines, they have good leaves without being really lush. That means that the fruit grows and it's got some reasonable exposure to the sun, so that the sun can affect those flavours as the grapes ripen. And then some magical combination that we don't quite understand of the climate and the soil and the vine and everything else goes into making up the flavours that are uniquely both Pusey Vale and also, of course, Eden Valley.
Now, tell me a bit about Eden Valley. I can see the sort of the look of it here.
Well, Eden Valley is a region within the Barossa, and the Eden Valley even though it's called a valley, are the hills around the north and the eastern side of the Barossa Valley. So right. The two regions, Barossa Valley and Eden Valley, together make up the Barossa. And we're high here, we're about 500 metres above sea level, and just over there you can see the Barossa Valley floor. You drop down, nearly 300 metres down to the Barossa Valley floor. That makes a big difference in terms of the temperatures, particularly at night. So up here in the Eden Valley, temperatures are a lot cooler, and at night that means that the grapes aren't going to continue ripening, so they're going to retain that beautiful fresh flavour and that lovely natural acidity.
You're just about to pick these, right?
These are just ready to pick.
They're fantastic.
And you can taste the fruit. When we taste these wines later, you'll see, you can taste the flavours of that wine already in there. The only difference, of course, is that these have sugar in them, and the wine has a bit of alcohol instead.
Well, I'm dying to come back and try these, but let's have a quick stroll through the vineyard and you can show me a bit more about the contours down here. Let's have a look.
All right, that's great.
The thing I love about Riesling is that you taste these here and it's just about to be, like you can get that kind of flavour and that purity, and there's really not much you as a winemaker do to mess with this, is there?
There's nothing. What we look for is when we come out to taste the grapes is to look for those real lemon and lime flavours that are so classic of the Eden Valley. And as soon as those are in the grapes and the grapes look like this, then we pick them. And the fermentation process, of course, is only turning the sugar, by using yeast into alcohol, and you go from grapes to wine. That simple, and then we put it in the bottle.
You guys won a very special award from the United States Environmental Protection Agency.
It was a great award to win because we're very strong on our environmental sustainability in everything we do, right from the vineyards through to our packaging, all the people that sell us dry goods and everything that goes into the winery and into winemaking is really important to us, that everything is there, going to be there for the long term. So to be recognised by the US EPA was a wonderful achievement.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So was there something I could see here that you're doing in the general environment around the vineyard that would be indicative of that? Or?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is that you're walking on it. Look at the leaf litter. There's some natural grasses, native grasses up and down the rows. There are lots of eucalyptus trees and other shrubs around the vineyard, and all of that goes into making up the natural biodiversity of the vineyards. And when you have that biodiversity, you've got lots of different plant types, as well as grapevines, of course. You've got lots of different insects, lots of different animals around, and when everything's nicely in balance, then you don't need to be so interventionist in your vineyard. So there'll be a few pests here, you know, a few insects that we don't want, but there's lots of birds around that are going to eat them. And so you get that great balance, and therefore we don't need to come in and use very many chemicals in our vineyard. So the vines, the grapes are much more natural, you know, we think they taste better because of that, and the inputs to the environment are a lot less. And if we eat too many of these grapes, there'll be no 2009 PVR Riesling left.